Welcome to the Gaze into Cinema YouTube channel. Muhammad bin Suleman, a researcher and history specialist of the early Muslim world. Introduction. Muhammad Canister Suleman al-Baghdadi, 796 to 865 CE, was a Muslim researcher and history specialist who is most popular for his great work, Kitab al-Fitan, the Book of Preliminaries. This work is a thorough history of the first and second fitnas, 2 times of nationwide conflict that tormented the early Muslim people group. Receptacle Suleman's work is profoundly respected for its objectivity, exactness, and experiences into the social and political elements of the early Muslim world. Early life and instruction. Canister Suleman was brought into the world in Basra, Iraq, in 796 CE. He came from a group of researchers and law specialists, and his dad, Suleman Receptacle Harun, was a notable expert on the hadith. Canister Suleman got conventional Islamic instruction, concentrating on the Quran, hadith, and Islamic regulation. He likewise concentrated on history and lineage, and he fostered a profound interest in the early Muslim people group. Vocation as a researcher and history specialist. In the wake of finishing his schooling, Canister Suleman started his vocation as an educator and researcher. He instructed at the Basra House of God Mosque for a long time, and he acquired a standing as one of the most learned researchers of his time. He additionally composed a few books on Islamic history and regulation, including Kitab al-Maghazi, the Book of Undertakings, and Kitab al-Ansab, the Book of Lineages. In the mid-10th hundred years, Canister Suleman was charged by the Abbasid Caliph, al-Wathiq, to compose an extensive history of the first and second fitnas. Container Suleman endured quite a long while exploring and composing this work, and he counseled a great many sources, including verifiable records, observer records, and verse. He likewise ventured out to various pieces of the Muslim world to talk with individuals who knew about the fitnas. Kitab al-Fitan is a 5-volume work that covers the historical backdrop of the first and second fitnas from their starting points to their end. The work is striking for its objectivity and exactness. Receptacle Suleman doesn't favor one side in the fitnas, and he presents a reasonable record of the occasions that happened. He likewise gives bits of knowledge into the social and political elements of the early Muslim world, and he assists with making sense of why the fitnas occurred. Kitab al-Fitan is one of the main works of Islamic history. It is a significant wellspring of data about the early Muslim people group, and fundamental perusing for anybody needs to grasp the first and second fitnas. Different works. Notwithstanding Kitab al-Fitan, bin Suleman likewise composed a few different works, including Kitab al-Maghazi, the Book of Undertakings. This work is an assortment of records of the Prophet Muhammad's tactical missions. Kitab al-Ansab, the Book of Parentages. This work is an assortment of lineages of the early Bedouin clans. Kitab al-Tib, the Book of Medication. This work is a clinical composition that covers subjects like life systems, physiology, and infection. Kitab al-Faraid, the Book of Legacy. This work is a composition on Islamic legacy regulation. Muhammad bin Suleman was one of the main researchers of the early Muslim world. His work, Kitab al-Fitan, is an exemplary of Islamic history, and fundamental perusing for anybody needs to figure out the first and second fitnas. Receptacle Suleman's different works, like Kitab al-Maghazi and Kitab al-Ansab, are additionally important wellsprings of data about the early Muslim people group. Receptacle Suleman's work has impacted Islamic grant, and he is viewed as one of the main researchers of the early Muslim world. The verifiable meaning of Muhammad bin Suleman. Receptacle Suleman was a transcending figure in Islamic grant. His work on the first and second fitnas is an exemplary of Islamic history, and his different works are likewise important wellsprings of data about the early Muslim people group. Receptacle Suleman's work has affected Islamic grant, and he is viewed as one of the main researchers of the early Muslim world. Container Suleman's commitments to Islamic historiography. Second, he was known for his objectivity and precision. He didn't favor one side in the fitnas, and he introduced a reasonable record of the occasions that happened. Third, he gave experiences into the social and political elements of the early Muslim world. He assisted with making sense of why the fitnas occurred, and he showed what they meant for the improvement of the Muslim people group. Container Suleman's work stays pertinent today. His bits of knowledge into the first and second fitnas can assist us with understanding the difficulties confronting the Muslim people group today. His work likewise shows us the significance of objectivity and precision in verifiable composition. Perhaps of the main illustration that we can gain from Container Suleman's work is the significance of solidarity among the Muslim people group. The first and second fitnas were brought about by inward divisions inside the local area. These divisions prompted savagery and gore. Container Suleman's work shows us the risks of division and the significance of cooperating to fabricate major areas of strength for a unified local area. Another significant example that we can gain from Container Suleman's work is the significance of instruction. Receptacle Suleman was an exceptionally instructed man, and he utilized his insight to compose even-handed and exact records of the first and second fitnas. Training is fundamental for grasping the past and building a superior future. Muhammad Container Suleman was a splendid researcher and student of history. His work has impacted Islamic grant, and it stays pertinent today. We can advance an extraordinary arrangement from his bits of knowledge into the first and second fitnas, as well as his obligation to objectivity and exactness in verifiable composition. Conclusion: Muhammad Container Suleman was a transcending figure in Islamic grant. His work on the first and second fitnas is an exemplary of Islamic history, and his different works are likewise significant wellsprings of data about the early Muslim people group. Container Suleman's work has affected Islamic grant, and he is viewed as one of the main researchers of the early Muslim world. Receptacle Suleman's work is as yet important today. His bits of knowledge into the first and second fitnas can assist us with understanding the difficulties confronting the Muslim people group today. His work likewise shows us the significance of objectivity and exactness in authentic composition. We can advance an incredible arrangement from Muhammad Container Suleman's work. He was a splendid researcher and history specialist who was focused on truth and equity. His work proceeds to rouse and illuminate us today. Enchanted Gaze Cinema storytelling dive deep into the script to screen discovery video content. Thanks you for watching next.